application to get a look at all the pictures at once. As you can see, they're all positioned the same. Their front feet are squared up and their back feet are staggered, with the cameraman's back foot being farther back. This is more or less just the best posture for the animal and gives them the opportunity to look the best in the photo. So this is the one we're going to use. This is how it came out of the camera. I had to take special attention not to overexpose the snow and make it too white and too hard to work with, and so that's why the bull is a little bit darker. We're going to start or go from there into Lightroom. You can see he needs to be changed. The first thing I like to do is come over to the left hand side in the presets and select the autotone function just to get a general start in how your exposure and contrast should be set. I think it needs to be considerably lighter. There's still quite a bit of shadow in behind his neck and over his top, so we're going to lighten those up a little bit. And then decrease his black point to make sure he doesn't look so silver. From here, we're going to use the function Command E to open the picture in Photoshop. And the first thing I like to do in Photoshop is to crop the image. Make sure that up here in the left-hand corner it's set in a 4x5 or 8x10 layout, just because this is the most universal and easiest thing to do. Center in, press enter. It needs to be straightened just ever so much. There we go. The next thing we're going to do is go over here and take out a few things. For example, this needs to be taken out. How I'm going to do that is with the healing brush tool. Increase my brush size a little bit and click right on the area that needs to be removed. Just like that. So we'll do that for time's sake, but through that whole pile, that needs to be changed. The other thing that needs to be changed in this photo is his halter needs to be taken off. Same type of situation, it's a different sort of brush. You're going to select your pixels that you want to replace beforehand with the option select command, and come over here and apply them to where the halter is. I like to use both the normal and replace functions of this brush just to make it look as real as possible. So as you can see, it takes a while for this particular part, but you're going to take off the whole halter, everything up here in the showman's hand. So once you do that, this is the sort of image you're going to end up with. Now clearly the most important thing is how the bull is set up. His stance is right, he looks good. The image could potentially be straightened a little bit more, but that's being extremely picky. Nothing's too white or too black. The image is in a good white balance. It's easy to see. Check the image size before you save it. It's an 8x10 with a 240 pixels per inch resolution. I like to keep them anywhere between 150 and 250. Anything greater than 250 becomes a file that's too large and it's harder to send back and forth in an email, for example. Anything lower than 150, you start to begin to compromise some image quality. So that's the most ideal range in my opinion. Okay. For the image size, go up and select a file, save as. Right now it's a Photoshop document. We're going to save it as a JPEG. Not everybody can open a Photoshop document, but every computer has the ability to open JPEGs. And so for the simplicity of everything, and even though it becomes a smaller document from here on out, it's definitely easier to work with. We're going to make our image quality just high instead of maximum to keep the size under control, but there you have it. Hope you learned a little something about photo editing.